Derivative of trigonometric functions. Using the sum of angle formula, we can derive that the derivative of the sine function, so sine of x, is the cosine function, and the derivative of the cosine function equal negative of sine of x. Note that sine, this symbol, okay, acting on x is just kind of like square root of x. So don't let the sin symbol kind of like discourage you from understanding this function. Sine of x really mean is that x is an angle. So if you have a right triangle and x is the angle, the length of the opposite side divided by the hypotenuse. Okay, so opposite divided by hypotenuse. So that's basically what a sine function is. And for calculus or our calculus 1 course, we really using the sine cosine function on understanding application problem that have something to do with navigation. And science, the derivative of the sine function equal cosine function, you can derive it, but you can also just memorize it. And the derivative of the cosine function equals negative sine function, again, you can derive it, which is shown in the textbook, or you can just memorize it, because what we need to master in this course is how to apply these formulas. So let's take a look at the function f of x equal 5x cubed times sine of x. And we want to use the rules that we have learned in this course so far to find the derivative of f of x. So first, we understand it's a product. So when we have a product, we make a copy of the function. So 5x cubed times x plus 5x cubed times x, sine of x. And then you apply the derivative operator on the first function and then on the second function. Then you will just proceed taking the derivative. The derivative of 5x cubed. Okay, so you bring down the power of 3. 5 times 3 is 15. And then x raised to power decreased by 1, so x squared. And then you just copy the rest, so times sine of x plus 5x cubed times, and the derivative of the sine function applying the derivative formula is cosine of x. Okay, then you can simplify, or you can just leave it like this. There's nothing to simplify. You don't want to factor out a common factor. It's not necessary. So that will be the answer. Now how about we have another function, f of x equal sine of x times cosine of x. Now there's several ways to approach this function and take the derivative. And we can just first use the product rule. Okay, so product, the derivative of a product. So we take the derivative of the first function, or again, we just make 2 copies. It doesn't hurt to write out your steps as you just start learning this process, because every time you have doubt, you can always double check what you have done instead of doing it over again. So now what's the derivative of sine function is cosine of x. Okay, then you multiply by cosine of x. Then you plus sine of x times the derivative of cosine of x is not sine x, it's negative sine of x. So what it gives us at the end, it will give us cosine square x. So cosine x squared minus sine x squared. Okay, you can leave it like this or you can simplify. There's several representation for the derivative, but that you can be done at this point. Now, some of you are really good at trigonometry. You might say, okay, sine of x times cosine of x is, if you're using the double angle formula, is 1/2 sine of 2x. If that is the case, you want to say, okay, it's easy to take the derivative of just a sine function, but then inside of it is another function, is 2x. Then the next thing we're going to learn is the chain rule. Okay, so if you want to go this route, you will need to apply the chain rule in order to get the derivative, and the answer should be equivalent.